You know, I've often thought about like how great it would be if on Saturday morning, like you wake up and there's racing already. Um, but I didn't think this. I was thinking like, hey, maybe like if they start at like 10:30. Well, I guess they are starting at 10:30, but not conducive for streaming an hour before first post. I literally rolled out of bed like half hour ago, and as you guys can hear, I'm still congested. Still, I was hacking up a lung when I first connected, but I think that's died down a little bit. But man, 13 race card, early start. I got some coffee. Caleb, you were saying that's you cap best after your post coffee shit in the
That's right.
morning. This is so early. I couldn't even like. I barely got my coffee. This is ridiculous.
I've been up 2 hours already, man. I don't know what you're doing. More than 2 hours.
You
But Travers Day, time to get excited, or as excited as you can.
yeah. I was gonna say, are you excited?
Yeah, I mean, it's Travers Day, so I'm always a little bit excited, right? But I'm excited to see a couple of really good races, a couple of really good horses, I think. So I'm excited to watch. I don't have any bets I'm like dying to make, and that's probably a little disappointing. I don't know. I mean, some of the undercard races, I felt like I just didn't have much of an opinion. And then some of the stakes races I thought looked pretty tough to get around some of the chalk. So I am excited, but I'm not exactly sure that it's a great betting day for me as far as finding prices or anything else goes.
Yeah, I'm playing in a couple contests, and I'm like trying to figure out where my contest plays are, and you know, I'm finding some, eh, like I'm finding it very hard to get some prices that are more than like 3 to 1, 4 to 1, which like is fine. Like if you can string a couple of those together, but at least like when I look at it from a contest perspective, I'm usually looking for a better price than that. So it's been a little tough. But a man who taking 3 to 1 is like me taking a 30 to 1. Mr. Mark Capitan, how you doing,
You
Mark?
know, you play the card you're given, not the card you want, and this is one of those days. I mean, I'm a little frustrated. You know, the second race came off the turf, which I think took out some potential price plays in that race. I thought there were a couple horses you could play against if it stayed on, and yeah, I mean, it's a good card, but obviously I am not sitting at the track, so there's a reason for that, and yeah, I think Caleb and I talked about this. There's a bunch of good races. There's a bunch of interesting stuff, but I don't necessarily know if there's any sort of like horse I have to see or race that I'm super over the moon have to be there for. So yeah,
Not even Jackie's Warrior.
I've seen you mean this horse from earlier in the meet? That
Yeah.
horse right there? Yeah, that horse. Been there, done that. I mean, he's a really, really, really cool horse. I think he's interesting to see. I mean, but I can make just as big of a case for an Epicenter or somebody, a couple of the others, Jack Christopher even. There's a bunch of interesting horses on the card. There's no one that I'm like, I have to be there. Now, if Charge It was running in the Travers, I would have had to be there, but he's not. And you know,
Can I just bitch for a minute about the fact I took one race off the turf?
one
It's a
race off the
13
turf.
race card. There's three races that were scheduled for the inner, and they take one. Like, I mean, is that one race with like only seven or eight horses? I think is that really gonna like ruin the course? I
You know,
mean, it just seems
the,
unnecessary.
the only thing I can figure is we got pretty heavy dew last night, so my yard is pretty wet right now, and maybe they just wanted to give it a little more time to dry. But I mean, that's a pretty poor excuse, quite honestly, on your biggest day of the year. And I think I was very interested in playing this early pick five sequence. Little less interested in it. I mean, I do have a ticket in, and I posted it up so Josh can post it if he wants. But I'm a little less excited to play it now. I think some of the calamity came out. I would say.
I feel like more of the calamity went in, honestly. But
Yeah.
but I get what you're saying.
Andy just coming out firing, saying he can't wait to see the new smoke shirt with Epicenter's name added to the Graveyard of Champions shirt.
But I mean,
He's
there's
technically not really a champion of anything, though.
Exactly. What's he a champion of? Cyberknife
The
arguably has a better resume,
Jim Dandy
right?
champion.
Yeah, Jim Dandy champion. I mean,
Technically,
so
shouldn't we add Rich Strike to the Graveyard of Champions? He was a
Right.
champion.
So if Rich Strike loses, I mean, there down goes the champion.
Congratulations to Rich Strike on being added to an old smoke shirt. Yeah, I really don't see it in the Travers, but I've heard a lot of very, very smart people mention that they're going all in on early voting. I think early voting, I mean, just the way you hear him being talked about on Twitter, I feel like he's going to be half the price, if not more, cut down more. And I think he's going to be your second choice. I really don't think there's going to be that much faith in Cyberknife, and I think people are going to be going all in on early voting.
I just don't understand the early voting hype. I mean, didn't we just answer this question in the Jim Dandy? I mean, and he's going further now, and does not look. It looks like he, if anything, needs a cutback. Like he looks like he wants a mile, and we're stretching out. And didn't think that the frictions in the Jim Dandy were crazy or anything else. I don't understand it unless you think he needed to start. He bounced to the move off the Preakness and needed to start. Which I guess I can respect, but man, he's a horse that I won't have on any tickets. I don't see it. I don't see it at all.
I mean, he won the Preakness going farther than the Jim Dandy. I don't know if you can say the distance is an issue. I have not heard any hype for this horse. I don't know anyone that's going to bet early voting. I kind of like him a little bit, but I mean, I'm really high on Epicenter. Cyberknife's the horse I think everyone's flocking to, but I won't have him on a ticket because he can't win this race.
Could you keep saying he can't win, actually? And I'll just change around in a couple tournaments.
I'm giving you some good sound clips if he comes back and wins.
So what do you guys want to do? You guys want to start taking a look at this early real quick?
I guess. Kind of
I think we can kind of rip through the early. I don't think it's a super complicated sequence.
Yeah, race 1, no scratches. You got 7 horses in here. Your morning line favorite is the 3 verifying.
Morning line favorite is the 6.
Yeah, it's not the 3.
That no one. That was
the horse. Drink some coffee. Try to keep up.
Jesus Christ. Well, anyways, I'm using the 3. The 3 verifying.
3 will be your favorite. I would almost guarantee it.
Justify Baby looks to be the works horse per the workout reports.
3 right now is 4 to 5 on the board.
Half brother to Midnight Bisou.
Midnight Bisou, yeah. I mean, that horse is one that I saw the morning lines for this race, and I just really scratched my head because Aragona is very sharp, obviously, and he made this 9 to 5. I mean, big purchase price, but a lot of the other ones in here had that as well. Asmussen's live horses, he's been going to Joel, and Joel sees fit to ride the 3 over this horse. I just was scratching my head at what Aragona knows that the rest of us don't. I almost feel like that must have been a mistype or something, making that horse 9 to 5. I kind of expected 3 or 4 of these to be close, with the 3 ended up being the favorite. I would imagine that price at 4 to 5 right now will drift up a little bit, but
I had the same thought. Aragona is usually very sharp at these lines, especially with these first time starters. He watches the works. He gets the clock reports, obviously. So when I saw this horse at 9 to 5, I'm like, okay, this horse must be a monster in the mornings. But then I checked, and I mean, he's okay, but he's not he's not some huge hype horse or anything like that. So I'm a little curious as to how that. What the thought process was there as well. But either way, it looks like the board's kind of going the way that we thought, of verifying taking all the money. And I will say Brad Cox, as good as he is at pretty much everything, he's much better second time out than he is first time out. I think he's like, according to Briz, he's 18% first time, and going off memory, I think he's almost like 30% second time out. It's something crazy. So this is a horse that is probably going to get overbet because it's a Justify Baby and it's a half to Midnight Bisou, but this is a race without much form, and it's probably tough to not use that horse.
Yeah, and I completely agree. And I think that if you're looking for a little form, I actually thought the 4 Didinger was a little bit interesting here. Horse who had its first start at Parks, showed some speed, ran okay. But Robert Reed is very good second time out. Sees fit to ship this one to Saratoga to run on, a featured day. And a real good second time out trainer. So that horse ran fairly okay first out. Probably one on connections. It gets a little lost on the board. Right now, I am seeing 5-1, so actually a little bit of money off the morning line. But I thought that was of the ones that had run in here, which there was not many. I think that may have. The 2 had run as well. I thought that 4 was actually a little interesting, so it's going to be an A on all my tickets.
I mean, I'll admit I'm playing this as probably as square as you possibly can. I have a, I've got so first off, I have every horse in this field on a ticket. I don't really know what to do here, to be honest. I have the 3, 5, and 7 kind of. No, I'm sorry, 3, 6, and 7 is A's, the very obvious choices. A gun runner, Chad Brown, Jose Ortiz, Clarovich horse at 7-2, or whatever he ends up going off as. Like, makes too much sense to not use. But I also respect the other 2 favorites with the Asmussen and the Cox horse. I like Mark's 4 a little bit. I like the 2 as well, the other horse with experience. I'm a big fan of second time starters over first time starters. And this is a Union Rags horse that debuted on the grass, which is clearly not the right surface. Getting a huge jockey upgrade for as much as I do love Jose Gomez. I mean, going from Gomez to Saez here is a big upgrade for sure. Should have some experience. Wasn't disgraced in that effort, although that was at the wrong surface. So I thought that the 2 made some sense in here. The 1 and the 5 are probably the 2 horses I can't really get to, but I have them on kind of like a C ticket. But beyond that, yeah, I mean, I have no real opinions here.
Yeah, we're pretty similarly structured. I'm buying this race. I'll have every horse on a ticket, so you can almost guarantee that this 3, a very short price, will win this. But I would agree. I thought the 2 was a little interesting. I think something you don't often say is that Dwayne Lucas is actually, his barn's been pretty live at Saratoga all meet, and clearly turf was not the surface for that 2. So that given the pedigree, and you can so. That's one that I think at a bit of a price makes a lot of sense too, and I do kind of like your 2 a little bit here as well, Caleb. And no thought that the Mott Firster running on Travers Day might be a little live. I mean, I realize that you're betting a Bill Mott Firster, but if he's going to roll one out that's loaded, this would be the time, right? No,
not for me. I don't think that.
Uh-oh. There he is.
Sorry, I don't know what happened.
Nah, you just
I can't hear Josh if he's talking.
Yeah, Josh has got himself muted.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I was like coughing up a lung, so I was like muting myself. I was going to use the 7 along with the 3. And then as soon as I said that and I was muted, Mark's like, no interested in the first time starter. And I was like, absolutely not. No, or the Mott first starter. I started trashing your character very, very hard. So I'm sorry for everyone who missed that, but I basically called Mark every single word in the dictionary, but not a fan there.
Yeah. So Charles is asking a pretty good question here. Obviously, a lot of these jocks, we were talking about it right before stream. A lot of these jocks did run at Charlestown last night, and do they have a disadvantage early today? It depends. I mean, you're talking about professional athletes for the most part. I think most of them travel pretty well. I know there was a talk that Gaff flew out to Del Mar. What was it? Earlier in the meet, had a mount. Yeah, it was last week, and he came back and he won the first race of the day at Saratoga the next morning. So, I think we've always thought of it as being a disadvantage. I don't really know if it is, but I remember Gaff told our good friend Andrew Capone that he had only gotten like 2 hours of sleep and basically caught a red eye and was just exhausted, but won like the first or the second on the day. So, I think that it probably is a touch of a disadvantage, but these guys are pros and they do this all the time. So, I mean, I would be more concerned if somebody was, at Ascot and flying back or something like that.
Yeah, I agree.
And also, I think, Caleb, you mentioned the Chad, the 7 horse, right? Or did Josh mention that horse? I'm sorry.
I think we both did.
Yeah. I like the 7 horse in this spot. I'm basically just going off the fact that gun runners like to win early. Chad as much as we think of him as a turf trainer, he does very well in Naira with first time starters on the dirt. So yeah, I just thought the 7 was the next obvious choice after the 3. I'll probably use both of them, and not get much wider than that. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
This 6 is currently sitting at 6-1.
Oh God,
9-5 in the line, not looking quite so hot. Yeah.
We're still 45 minutes out. I would imagine that will take.
I'm sure, but I mean, yeah, the early money is not showing up, and when these Asmussen horses are live, it typically does.
And Charles, the answer to that is yes. Breathalyzer and they get a weight and breathalyzer
and COVID.
and COVID. There we go. That's the other one I mentioned or forgot. Yeah.
If you guys are in our Discord, or the horse racing Discord, not really our Discord, there is a tournament on horse tourneys, $50 buy-in in there to try and boost our pensioned Canadians bankroll, Mr. Sheldon Ushbreck. So we do have a $50 contest going on. If you see me right now, I am currently trying to get my picks in, and I am done. So we are in. But if you guys need a link to that, let us know. We'll get you hooked up.
Ping one of us, and we can all send you the link over. It'll be a fun one and a little bit of an insider deal.
Speaking of the devil, there's Sheldon 3, 4, 6, 7, 10. But let's keep moving on. Race 2. We got a lot of scratches here. I think I misread it. I thought only the 1A got scratched out, but I think the whole entry got scratched out in this race.
Yeah, late change or later change. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't. I might have missed a couple changes because I think I saw a couple horses that I had as top picks get scratched out. So, but in this race, I actually really liked the one, which kind of stunk. I ended up landing on a 10, the MTO. But honestly, this race, I have absolutely no freaking clue. There's just like nothing to go off of here. A lot of these horses seem to be, wanting to go on the turf. So I'm really interested to see what happens. I mean, I guess with the exception of this Dale Romans horse, but Dale Romans winning at Saratoga is, I don't know, that's pretty rare. That's like me not having that third slice of pizza. So
third.
They're big slices up here. But Mark, where did you kind of land here?
Yeah, I landed 10 was my top pick probably in here. I think that for all the reasons, but I don't know. I agree. This does look like a race full of horses that are pretty turfy. Of the ones that had a start, I thought the 10 was the most interesting, getting on dirt here. If Wes is making this one an MTO, obviously, and Johnny V was up on this one last time. I'm sure he got feedback and the two of them talked about it and said, yeah, this might actually be a dirt horse. The other horse I thought was pretty interesting was the 5 Triple Start. It's American Pharaoh. Obviously, AP horses can run on everything, even though I think we make the joke that he's a turf sire. And Pletcher's Sayas has been a really good combo. Todd seems to be using Sayas a lot more this year in especially at Saratoga than he has in previous years. So I thought the 5 Triple Start, I will not probably get that 5-1 morning line. Let me see what the doubles are looking like here. It looks like the 7 is going to be your favorite in the next leg. America's Guest, who I did not like, but it looks like the 5 is going to be third choice. It looks like the 5 and the 10 are going to be just about equal on the board. So,
yeah, this race is terrible. I really have no opinion. I don't really like the 10. I don't get why this horse is supposed to get bet. It's a Wesley Ward horse that debuted on the grass, took really no money for a Wesley Ward 2-year-old firster, did no running, and now gets entered as an MTO and stretched out to a route. I mean, I don't like Wesley Ward going sprinter out pretty much ever. And I typically think with these awards, if they don't win first out, they usually don't win, or that's how it kind of feels. So I don't know what's going on here. I don't really like that horse very much, but I don't like any horse in here. I kind of begrudgingly landed on the 6 as my top pick. even if it's a Dale Romans in New York, just because at least this horse showed some ability and some early foot in that debut race. Kind of went out there and tested the pace for half a mile before folding up shop. Um, maybe second time out might be a little more fit, might be able to control things on the front end and slow it down. I mean, I do also like Mark's 5 a little bit. It kind of bugs me the horse was stabled at Churchill for a while. I would kind of think if he shipped up here, it was probably exclusively to run on the turf, and now that it gets washed off, I'm not really sure what the plan is there. So yeah, I don't have any opinion here. I mean, the Rudy horse, probably the way Rudy's been firing, it's hard to go there. So I would pick the 6 if you made me choose, but I'll have every horse on a ticket once again in this race.
Yeah, but on the plus side, this 5 horse, like maybe he can run on the turf at Churchill in September.
That's right, on the turf. Oh wait.
Oh no. Oh, maybe in November. They haven't ruled out the fall meet yet. They only ruled out the September meet. So
I love the fact that they don't call the September meet the fall meet.
Well, it's because they run a longer meet, I think, in November after Breeders' Cup. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna just use the 6 and the 10 here, honestly, and just kind of pinch my nose. I'm not putting a lot of money into the sequence. I'm gonna try and stay as skinny as possible, and if I miss, I miss. I'm still.
If it makes you feel good, the 6 is my B horse. So
wait, but what the heck is going on? Are you using it defensively?
I mean, it is a B, so theoretically it would be a defensive B, right?
All right, cool.
Does anyone know? Since this race is off the turf, but it's 2-year-olds, does it go to 7 furlongs like it historically has, or do they run it out of the Wilson chute? Because I thought I remember hearing that 2-year-olds don't run out of the Wilson chute earlier this year, but I don't know if that's a rumor. Or
Interesting. Yeah, normally they mark that on the.
I don't see
it's not marked on mine either. But they were saying they were not going to run 2-year-old. Well, I don't think it wasn't they weren't going to run 2-year-olds out of the Wilson chute. It was sort of this: we need to run a few races out to decide if we're okay with doing it. Everything that was on the inner yesterday did go to the Wilson. So my assumption would be this is at a mile on the Wilson, but
I thought with the 2-year-olds they were only going to run like 6 horses or something. It was like it wasn't that they weren't going to run 2-year-olds.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's a limited field size, so this would
the 8 horses. I think
clarify. So
Charles says, "I'm talking horses." They said it comes out of the chute.
Okay,
Shoe is saying same distance.
They can't run a mile in a 16th.
They can't run a mile in a 16th on the dirt, so it would be a mile.
That's what I guess. Maybe it is the chute. Maybe that was just a rumor about 2-year-olds out of the Wilson chute when the meet started.
It was specifically field size. Like they didn't want to run. Like they were like okay running. Like I think they were okay like running 10 older horses, but they don't want to run 10 2-year-olds. So they're only running. I think like
they haven't run a 10 yet. I think the biggest they've had come out of the Wilson has been a 6. And I think my understanding was that. Well, I'd have to catch Johnny V, and I haven't been able to do that, and wouldn't be probably my first question. But I know the Jockey Guild pushed back pretty hard on that.
Yeah, there was some nonsense with it. I forgot what it was. Let's go to race 3. Did we get any extra scratches in this race? So I'm gonna have to ask every race because apparently I miss or there's some came in after I marked my PPs up. But you got a nice field here. We're going to be going 7 furlongs on the dirt. You got 9 horses. A great workout. Did not have a great workout. Actually, he did. He's got a bullet. What? Maybe I shouldn't talk shit. But I actually landed on the 3 horse in this race. Color Me Potsy. Ran last time out at Saratoga. Had Eric Cancel aboard. And he just kind of like, he was kind of flat. And he's shown speed basically every other time he's run. So I'm not really sure what kind of happened there. But I'm going to go back to this and hope that maybe Eric Cancel gets his head out of his ass and hustles his horse up a little bit. 8-1, I thought was a good price. Kind of more of a, I guess more of a tournament play for me. This is the horse I'm using in my tournament. I also really like the 1 horse, obviously, Luis Saez. I'm going to be using both these horses. But I just preferred the price on the 3. 3's kind of my tournament play, but I'll be using both the 1 and the 3 in my tickets. Caleb, where did you kind of land here?
Yeah, so I'm pretty similar to you, Josh. I like the 1 here as my top pick. The horse I imagine will be your favorite. Yeah, I just think this horse looks to be potentially the controlling speed because I don't trust Eric Cancel to not miss the break on the 3 horse like he did last time. So if he doesn't go for whatever reason, then I think the 1 probably gets to lead the Sayas. The 1 doesn't need the lead though. Was able to close from pretty far back in a couple of races, so I think that gives Sayas some options here. I think the 1 is probably just the best horse in here. Yeah, the 2 is another horse that I'm going to have on a couple tickets pretty prominently, who was able to overcome somewhat of a slow start and just missed last time out. I thought that was a nice race, and I think the stretch out to 7 furlongs probably helps the 2 a little bit more than it does a horse like the 3 or potentially even the 1. So at the distance here, I kind of thought the 2 might make some sense. So yeah, I have the 1 and 2 the most, and use the 3 a little bit, but I don't trust Cancel at all.
Yeah, I saw pretty much how you guys did it. Most of the 1 and 2, which you guys have sort of talked about, a little bit of 3, and the other horse that I did want a little bit of that nobody has talked about and was the works horses, this majority partner, into the Linda barn, out of Jeremiah Englehart's barn. I don't hate the horse. Has shown some, early foot, and getting a little bit of a stretch out here. And the horse does have a win across the surface, so I realize it was in a maiden 40, and this is quite a step up in class. But if you're looking for, obviously some of these horses have shown that they don't love to win a lot. Your 3 is 4 for 30, and never hit the board at Saratoga. So if you want a little bit of a fresh face, I thought the 6 was somewhat interesting in here. Albeit, that is just sort of one of my red flags. Is at morning line, I would not be interested. But if that horse drifts up, that horse should probably be double that price. Then I think it becomes a little more interesting.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's a price that horse makes sense. At 4 to 1, that's not it for me though.
That's not it. Yeah, because I know you always say if a horse breaks its breaks for a maiden claiming tag, you always want him to come back about half that tag. So you really would want that horse in like a claiming 20, not an allowance. But again, that is not the toughest allowance field I've ever seen. It's actually not a really great allowance field, in all honesty. I can see Josh feverishly looking for Papo's link, and he's on mute again. So
this is where
I'm just trying not to like cough into the microphone over here, so I'm trying to do a solid. And I'm gonna send you guys the horse tourneys link for Papo's tournament because I'm gonna buy in right now.
Oh, how many people are in that?
I don't know. I didn't see.
$10. It looks like there's $70 in the pool. So I guess 7.
That's all right.
Okay. I'll probably just stay in. Yeah, we got it, Ryan. I think Josh. Can I link this in chat, or will it blow me up?
I don't know, but for some reason it won't let me copy my picks. What the hell?
Cool. I just put the Papo one up in chat. If anybody else wants to hop in.
Oh, because they're live.
It's live. Okay.
That's all right. Okay.
You can preload live though.
Yeah, I know, but it won't let me. It won't let me copy.
Let you feed it in.
It won't let me feed it in because it considers it a different format. So I'm just gonna put in a couple picks here real quick while we wait. Okay, so that way at least
I guess we can hop on to while Josh is getting his picks in here. We can flip over to the Grade 2 Ballston Spa. Morning line favorite is Technical Analysis, the 5 at even money. She's been really, really, really good. And I know when we did our stream on on Thursday, I thought I was going to be a little bit more spread here, but the more I look at it, I'm gonna loan a Technical Analysis. I just think she's the horse to beat here. This early sequence got a little skinnier for me with some of the scratches of the second, so I don't want to have quite as big of a structure on here. So I'm going to be pretty aggressive through technical analysis with a little bit of our flash drive, the 3, but I moved her down to a B. Works did not come back great for her. Well, I mean, Dylan was on the De La Rose, I guess. So it does make sense to kind of retain the mount. She does, our flash drive does seem to be the type of horse that is improving. But I think the more I look at this race, the more I just really think technical analysis kind of towers over the field here.
Yeah, I had the same thought. I ended up singling technical analysis here. I just, it's hard to make an opinion. Our flash drive would be my second choice, only because I think she's going to offer some value with Lamista and Fluffy Socks in the race, who I don't like to win this race. So yeah, I mean, I do kind of like our flash drive a little bit, but I just struggled to really put her over technical analysis, really just due to what I think is going to be a pretty massive pace advantage that technical analysis should get to enjoy here. So I think she's probably just too good. I really thought about our flash drive for a long time, but ended up singling technical analysis.
I didn't think about our flash drive a long time. I just used her.
Do you use technical analysis too?
Yeah, I did, but I pressed technical analysis, and then I used our flash drive. But I didn't I'm like I said, I'm not super wide. I actually my entire structure is $48, but I'm pressed 2x to my spread ticket, 2x to my ticket singling technical analysis, and then 2x singling the 3 and technical analysis. So I feel like I got enough coverage, and if I feel like if I hit our flash drive, I'll get paid. Mostly because I just think this horse gets lost on the board. I think that the 2 Chad Brown horses will take is it 2? No, 3 Chad Brown horses. The 3 Chad Brown horses will take money. I really like Fluffy Socks as a horse. I just think that they tend to run her in slightly over her head, just a little bit. But unfortunately, I think that she's more of like a listed stakes, grade 3 type. I mean, I know she won a grade 2, but they were last year. They were they're very cavalier, entering her in a bunch of grade 1s, and I think that hopefully at some point she finds her level, but I have a hard time seeing her win here, and I think Lamista is just, I mean, I don't know what the heck is up with this horse. This horse came over from overseas, and I think had a bunch of hype and just really hasn't panned out. I mean, won the matchmaker last time out, but yeah, I'll be against those two. Our flash drive is just kind of, I just kind of saw it not really as a new shooter, because I know she's run against some of the other horses in this race, but isn't one of the Chads, and I thought it has shown some ability and has won over the course. So, but yeah, technical analysis is gonna be tough to beat here.
Yeah, I was saying, I know Chad is on record saying that with Fluffy Socks, he never really thought she was that good, and sort of, found softer spots for her. And then she kind of started winning. And so then he, obviously found deeper into the pool kind of races. And she's good. She runs her heart out. She's a real honest horse. I just don't really think she's at the caliber of some of these older, and as a 3-year-old, she was a little more protected. So now in her 4-year-old season, you're seeing that just, not quite, I think that the waters get deeper, and she just hasn't taken that step forward. And I think Lemistra, I know a couple of people were asking in chat. I just think she's one of these horses that that you see this occasionally. I should see it a fair bit with Chad, where he gets these horses that they buy out of Europe and bring to the States. Peter Brandt has a lot of them, and they're good, but boy, they just sort of never win. There's a lot of hype with them coming in. They take money every time, and they just sort of never get it done. I realized she did in the matchmaker last out, but boy, that really was not a great field. I mean, Lemistra and Fluffy Socks are the only 2 notable horses. They're both back here, and I think somebody like Technical Analysis is just playing a better horse. So, I wouldn't talk anybody who really liked Lemistra in this spot off from her, but I don't know. I want her to win. I wanted her to show a little more in her previous starts, and her 4-year-old season kind of seemed lost. It just, you hope there was a little more a little earlier.
And then classic on the wrong lead fashion, we spent 20 minutes on a 5-horse field where we
20
all
minutes on a
like
5-horse
even
field,
money.
yes.
Where we all, the even money horses just all right, so since we want to, just how we gonna close this out? I mean, everyone's just singling Jackie's Warrior, right?
Yes.
Um,
Any C's, Mark?
Yeah, I had some C's
oh,
in
there it is. There it is. I don't have a. I'm
We
just
need
gonna,
a.
I'm just gonna bring the alarm.
Just
but
bring the alarm anyway.
yeah, I don't.
It's one of those ones where, hey, I'm okay being, spending $6 on the lottery ticket that Jackie's Warrior doesn't win, or whatever it came out to be. It was pretty cheap for C's. Really?
Okay, I think I'm done.
Are you? Are you really?
The cricket.
This is one good thing about doing streams during the day. The cricket is he's asleep, so bastard,
goodness.
loud as hell.
Yeah. Did I tell you guys that? So I was on Facebook, and we do have a Facebook page. I haven't fixed it up yet, so at some point we'll share that as well. If you guys can go ahead and like that, but I've been posting our streams on there. I got hit with a copyright strike, but I have no idea what it's from. I don't know if it was maybe there's an air horn copyright or something. I don't know. Unless they got me for the 30 for 30 music. Maybe that's what it was. But it was weird. We haven't gotten any copyright strikes on YouTube, but apparently something on Facebook got flagged. But yeah, I'm singling Jackie's Warrior. Caleb and I kind of talked about this a little bit after stream, and I think one play I might make is I might make a straight exacta play with Jackie's Warrior over Baby Yoda. I really think Baby Yoda is the second best horse in this race and love Saratoga, and I don't know how much money he's going to take. I mean, they installed Cody's Wish as a second choice. And then you got also Pipeline in there with, a similar morning line to Baby Yoda. So I'm going to take a look at the probables and just kind of, it's going to be kind of a game time decision. I don't really know what price I'm going to need on that, but I don't know. That's I guess kind of a play that I've had in my head. 'Cause I think Baby Yoda is, I mean, in my mind, I think is head and shoulders is the second best horse in this race, and has run against Jackie's Warrior before. I think his kind of pressing run style, I think, is going to be useful here to try and finish second. So I don't know. I thought that was going to be an interesting play, depending on the price. I like 90 million people have said this, I'm sure already, but apparently Knee Deep in Snow is running for second, has absolutely no desire to try to win this race. I think, well, not no desire, but I think Marshall Graham basically is like, yeah, we're going to try and get second in this race. So I don't know what that means. But I just thought that was kind of interesting that they're going to try and run for second. So my guess
probably
is
means
that
if you're looking for him to go duel with Jackie's Warrior, it's not going to happen.
it ain't going to happen.
Well,
Yeah.
it didn't happen last time, right? Like, they took him back and they made passed a bunch of tired horses and got a check for getting up for second. I think that's exactly what they're going to do here, and that's why I know Josh is playing over Baby Yoda. I would play the same exacta, but over Knee Deep in the Snow. I think I don't know if anybody actually tries to duel with Jackie's Warrior. I don't think so. But I thought the second best horse in the race was Knee Deep in the Snow, personally, and you're getting a huge price. I think that morning line is just bad, and I would imagine that horse doesn't pay nearly as well underneath in an exacta, but that's kind of how I would approach it.
Yeah, I have the same thought as you guys. I'm not going to try to beat Jackie's Warrior, but I will try to beat Pipeline and Cody's Wish underneath. I think they're both better milers, or maybe even a little bit longer, honestly. I do like Baby Yoda. I do like Knee Deep in Snow. And I'm going to probably maybe have a trying to work this number 2 horse somewhere drafted. I mean, this horse is going to get completely dismissed on the connections, but, David Dugan's having a pretty strong Saratoga. He's having a pretty strong year, honestly. And this horse is a multiple grade 3 winner that, is able to, pass horses late. It has 2 wins at the distance. isn't going to beat Jackie's Warrior, but might be able to come running a little bit late and clunk up for third if Cody's Wish and Pipeline find the distance a little on the sharp side. This horse will be the longest price on the board, and I think he has a shot to round out third or potentially fourth and a bit of a leveraged up try or super.
Yeah, I kind of like that play, actually. And I would imagine Connections were probably hoping this came up a little wetter than it did for Drafted, because Drafted has had some pretty freaky performances on the off track. But yeah, no, I like that sort of, okay, I'm just going to live with the chalk winning. I'll try to get some prices underneath to spice up an exact or a try, really lever it up and be really a little cute about it. I think that's a smart way to approach a race like this, which, it's probably, you take it as the free square horizontally, but, lever it up vertically.
I don't know. That seemed appropriate.
Did it? Okay.
Yeah. So, Mark, I know you sent me your kind of structure here. Let me open this bad boy up, and then look. All right, you kind of got your structure. Why don't you walk us through it a little bit?
Yeah, just trying to lever up the front end here. You can see the primary ticket is $1.50, and it's a pretty skinny structure, honestly, for me. But that all A ticket is trying to lever up Jackie's Warrior a little bit, because it also lever up technical analysis. So the idea here is, if technical analysis and Jackie Warrior both win, this doesn't pay a lot, so you want to have more money going through the two of them, and then spreading out for a little bit of calamity. And I think the most likely calamity race is the first race, where you might catch a price. So trying to have some coverage if we get a price or two in the sequence. Nothing super fancy.
Cool. Actually, I'm gonna just share it this way. This. Whoa. Yeah. So my structure here is, like I said, it's pretty skinny. I'm gonna be basically 2x2x3 by 2x1 in my quote unquote spread ticket here. For $1, it's $24. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna press technical analysis for another $1, and then I'm gonna press this 3 in the first leg and technical analysis for an additional $2. So, kind of the thinking when I structure these tickets is, hey, if my bottom ticket cashes, my press ticket cashes, all my tickets cash. It's kind of like a waterfall kind of thing. So I don't really play ABC in where, like, hey, if my C ticket hits, it's the only ticket that hits, or my B ticket hits, it's the only ticket that hits. I try to hit with. I make it possible to hit with all my tickets.
Yeah, your structure is more of a classic saver ticket type of structure, where, I guess it's even a little more levered than that. I don't really know what you would refer to it as, because your idea is to hit all of them, or
Yeah, that's kind of how Hammer plays his stuff, and I mean he's a little bit crazier. Like, he'll just, like, basically, and I've seen him do this. He'll just go to the machine and just, like, keep on hitting repeat bet until his voucher's out. So, but I see Caleb here. You're basically, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, a little. So bottom ticket's kind of the main one, I guess you could say. I'm using all but 2 in the first leg on that ticket, having all in the second leg, and then kind of took my top 3 in the third leg with 2 singles to close it out, the very chalky singles. Second, like, middle ticket for $8 is just the one that covers the first 2 horses that I don't have covered in that first leg, because I refuse to use all but the longest 2 prices and have one of them beat me. I kind of pared back some of the spread in other legs, because I don't have I don't think the 1 or the 5 win this first race, so I don't feel like I need as much coverage later on. More of an insurance bet. And then the top ticket is just a press bet. It's just my top picks repeated from the bottom ticket. So essentially, it's like an 8 on all A ticket, where if that comes in, I'll hit it twice. Otherwise, if one of my less likely winners comes in, I'll just have it once. But not putting it's like a $50-ish structure. I'm not going crazy in this, because it looks pretty chalky. I'm really hoping to catch some bombs in the first 2 legs, kind of have it chalk out from there, and maybe pick up a couple $100 is kind of the best I'm hoping for here.
Yeah, historically, this early on Travers Day has paid really, really well. I think the average payout is like $12,000 or $15,000, but I don't see this one paying that. Now, the sequence that I think is really interesting, Caleb and I were talking about this before we got on stream, is the real late, because I think race 12 and race 13, you have some potential for people playing stupid tickets trying to get out of a bad day, and also some slightly interesting prices in there as well.
I've never heard of that before.
No. I'm sure you haven't.
Trying to play bad tickets at the end of the day, like a Del Mar or Emerald
I've never done
Downs
that.
Or
or
Charlestown,
Hong
or
Kong,
like Charlestown last
Australia
night.
A.
Yeah.
That's never happened before. I don't know what you're talking about there. But all right, what do we got? What's minutes to post there, Mark? You got
Yeah,
the
like
feed ups?
20 minutes still, Josh.
We still got 20
16.
minutes.
16 minutes to post.
We got through like 5 races in record time, which says a lot about the races, right?
And we got yelled at for taking too long as well. So that's probably. So I know we talked races 7 through 11.
7 through 11, yeah.
Yeah. So let's just keep on going. Race 6 here. We're gonna be going 7 furlongs on the dirt. We got a scratch of the 3 and the 6. Those came in kind of late, didn't they?
No, 6 was normal time scratch, and I was really, really bummed for that, because I think Caleb said this as well. We were before stream that we were both a little bit interested in betting Smoky White there.
I had the 3 as my top pick at some point, so he must have scratched late.
Yeah, that's really. I had the 6 as my top pick and the 3 as my alt. And when I looked, neither of them were scratched. Apparently,
yeah, the three was a late scratch. Yeah.
Linda makes me so fucking mad with the way she enters these horses and then scratches them out. I mean, she does that more than anyone else in this country.
Wesley Ward?
Linda does it more, I think.
I think Wes does it more. And Wesley likes to play the stupid jock game, where he'll put up some jock who's
Gerardo Corrales is going to be shipping to Ascot.
Exactly. And then
he listed JB Spencer on one of his mounts once. I think.
There was a couple years ago where he was doing that. He kept like putting up just random European jocks listed as a mount, and then he would do a late change. And it's like, come on, dude! Like, why be that way?
Ryan, we're not going to talk about last night.
Yeah.
All right. I'm still salty about last night. Fucking Charlestown. And like a coma patient, these small tracks always fucking fuck you with some weird ass DQ or whatever. And see carryover, and it's like you forget everything. You guys remember Fauner Park? Remember that nonsense? The pick 5? Oh God.
Those are the dark days of COVID racing.
Oh man. Did Pops ever go back to the Fauner Park well after COVID?
Yeah, he's been playing Fauner post COVID. Like, I mean, it's no Indiana Grand, but he messes around with it a little bit.
Yeah, that's the best thing ever. We're sitting at Saratoga. We're like literally in 1863. Look out the window. The track's right there. It's gorgeous. Everything else, and you got TVs all around streaming. And he's got his tablet out on the table playing Indiana Grand. He literally has got Indiana Grand streaming, and that's all he's firing at. It's just like
that man loves Indiana Grand.
He does.
I mean, he just loves Indiana Grand.
The Grand.
All right, so I ended up landing on the 5 here, Baltazar. And I kind of, like I said, I think similar to Caleb, I kind of landed here because of attrition. Like, I don't know if I necessarily really, really like this horse. But it was kind of like at some point he was like, I think he's like my second or third choice in the spot. And with the scratching of the 3, it's kind of where I landed. I do like the 4 a bit. Jet Speed shipping in from Monmouth. They get Louis Saez aboard. Thinking maybe we'll get an aggressive ride. But I think we talked about this a little bit, that speed hasn't. We haven't really seen like a true speed bias at any point in the meet. I don't think yet. Have we?
There's been a couple days, but it hasn't been like prolonged. I wouldn't say. We haven't seen like a week where speed was just unbeatable.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird because I always feel like that happens at some point during the Saratoga meet. Hey, maybe it starts today. Who knows? But that's kind of where I landed. I wasn't really a huge fan of this 2. I don't know. This horse has kind of been sitting off the pace all the time, and they tried to kind of push him forward a little bit, and he still lost last time out. So I don't know. This horse doesn't really like to win. Is seems to have only gotten his wins in his maiden and the claiming race. So maybe allowance is just too deep. But I thought Jet Speed ran a pretty decent race last time out in allowance company, and I think same thing. You can kind of say the same thing for Baltazar. So I was going to kind of probably key through the 4 and the 5 there, but Mark, where did you kind of land here?
I landed on the same horse. I landed on a Baltazar the 5. I think for all the reasons that Josh mentioned. Not that I necessarily love the horse, but after attrition in this race, that's where I sort of landed. But I would, after the scratches, I think there's some other horses that make a little bit of sense. I thought the 7 as well, the Ultras horse, Swift Tap, made a little sense with Santana choosing that one over the 10. But again, this is, Baltazar is my top pick, not because I love him or anything, just because he's probably the best horse in the race. But I think you can make a case for almost anybody there. And it's a really sort of spready affair. I thought this section of this, well, the start of the pick 6 here, race 6 and race 7 were both kind of rough races.
Yeah, I thought this was a really hard race. I felt like it was really wide open. And then on top of that, like 2 of my picks that I did like with the 6 and the 3 scratched out, which makes it even more annoying. I don't like Baltazar in here really. I guess I'm not surprised you landed on him. He's a big square on optics, but he's a horse that has gotten progressively slower ever since breaking his maiden. I mean, he has 3 consecutively declining speed figures, 3 consecutively worse finishes. It just doesn't seem like he's going the right way in his form cycle. So this is not really a horse that I want to go and back as the potential favorite or co-favorite in this spot. I mean, he might be on a ticket of mine simply because I don't have a good opinion in here, and he's not going to be even money. But I just don't. I didn't see a reason to go bet this horse as the co-favorite. I don't want a short price in here. I don't really like the 2 either that much. I guess watch and see how the 1 horse runs in race 3, since that's the horse that he lost to last time. If that horse shows up with a big run, maybe you can upgrade both the 5 and the 2 in here. But I'm not really sure that I like either of them. So I actually landed on a bit of an outsider here after scratches, which was the 1 horse, Must Be Love. This is a horse that I think his last race was, just not the right setup. He clearly had some trouble out of the gate. He broke last by 10 lengths and made a pretty honest effort to get up for 4th in a race that really held together on the front end. The speed went 1-2 all the way around the track that day. I mean, you can see Swift Tap. He was second, pressing the leader the entire way. The leader was Dots Darling, or Dots, I forget the horse's name, who was on the lead. It was the 5 horse. They went 1-2 the whole way around, and the horse that was third was also pretty much third the whole way. So this was the only horse to make up any ground that day at Saratoga in that race. I think it's a positive sign that Gustavo Rodriguez sees fit to actually move this horse out of claiming ranks and into a protected company for the starter allowance here. So I think that, to me, speaks that he has some confidence, doesn't want to lose this horse. He's having a pretty good meet. Rosario does get off, but I'm not reading too much into that really. With the speed, some of the speed anyway, scratching out, that probably does make it a little bit harder for the 1, but I don't think he needs to be 10 lengths off the pace either. So I'm hoping with a cleaner break and a couple of horses in here that I just don't really trust, I'm going to take a shot with the price.
Any love for the 7 Swift Tap? I know you talked about the last race he was in, and you said it was kind of conveyor belt, but ran second in that race, and is that same race that the 1 came out of.
I mean, a little bit. There's a price he makes sense. I don't know that it's 6-1 for me. I think it's 6-1, versus 15-1. I'd much rather have the 1 horse. Now, if he floats up in the double digits, then I could get there. But I think if I was taking the speed, I would go for 4. Sorry, Mark.
No, you're fine. I would say I did like the 7 a fair bit in here. I thought it was interesting that Santana gets off the the Pletcher that he won, broke its maiden on last out, with him up to stay on this 7. So I thought it was an interesting horse. Rob Ultras is having I don't know. I guess Ultras tends to be a hot trainer in New York, and then he comes to Saratoga and never really kind of shows up. But I thought there is a price, and I think around 6-1 actually Swift Tap makes quite a bit of sense. I'm going to imagine Baltazar, just with the scratches, is going to take a ton of money and be closer to, let's say, 2-1, 5-2 range. But you might actually get that 6-1 on Swift Tap in a not as spread out field, and I do kind of like him there.
Yeah, I was interested in the 7. I don't remember. I might have changed some of my picks in my tournaments to maybe include the 7, just because like I think some of the speed with some of the speed scratching out, I thought the 7 made a bit of sense, kind of being that pace pressure. So that was basically, I think that was the only other horse I had any interest in this race. I did see Charles was talking about Walder winning yesterday with a horse. So the 8's a Peter Walder horse. He hasn't run many this meet. I feel like last year he ran a lot more. He was running, I think, at least like one or two horses a week. And it looks like he's only had 2 runners so far if you include yesterday. So, but no one's interested in that horse there. So that's okay. So race 7, we had some scratches. Let me just double check here, make sure we didn't have
I think it
more.
was
The
so
two
2 was the
scratched
only
out.
scratch besides the MTOs.
2 in the MTOs. Okay. Yeah, I landed on the 5 here, Ranger Fox, as my top pick. I know we kind of talked about this a little bit, but I just thought that last race is, at least on Brisnet, is much better than anything that a lot of these other horses have run. I think he gets out in the front end and just doesn't look back. I will say for tournament play, I was convinced, because Caleb is very, very convincing and often makes us change our tournament plays. I did use the 8 Battle Station as kind of my tournament play, just based off the price. I kind of feel like this 5 is going to probably get bet off the board. I know he's 7-2 on the line, but I'm guessing he's going to be like 2-1 or maybe even shorter. So I'm going to take a shot with this 8 Battle Station at a price in tournament play. Caleb, where did you kind of land here?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of stuck with what I said Thursday. I do like Battle Station in here. I respect Ranger Fox. I think he's going to be too short. And, again, I really don't think the 6 at Belmont translates very well to 5.5 at Saratoga. I think it's a different kind of speed. The turns are a lot tighter. So, yeah, I mean, I like Ranger Fox. I don't love him. I haven't decided exactly where he fits into my ticket, but he probably will be somewhere. But I was kind of spread here. I thought it was a tough race. I looked at the one a little bit, Comedy Town. I don't know that I really trust Trevor to work out the trip, but that's another horse I think could be forwardly placed. And then I thought the bit of the wild card in here was maybe the 7. I really didn't know what to do with Cazadero coming off a big layoff. And I know we talked about him on stream. There is some turf pedigree and there are some turf works that seem to come back okay, but it is a long layoff and he's going out for a cold barn. So sort of some mixed signals there. I think at 8-1, that horse does make my ticket, but I do kind of get the feeling he'll take a little more money than that.
Yeah, I landed on Battle Station as well. I think Caleb and I both talked about him on the Thursday stream. My top choice in the race was Maxwell Esquire, the 2, until he scratched out. So yeah, I'll stay with Battle Station being my top pick. I don't think you get anywhere near that morning line anymore. I think probably was a bad morning line to begin with. And yeah, I'm doing no defensive being. What are you talking about? I had 2 A's, one was scratched out.
I know, but I just felt like you were going to start talking about the 5 being on your ticket.
No, the 8's my top pick. I
just felt it. Like I just felt it.
You felt it?
Itchy trigger finger, man.
Yeah.
Man.
What about the 6? That's another horse I thought was kind of interesting in here. Another horse coming off a huge layoff, but the Philip, Antonacci barn has been super live this meet, and we talked about that. It has a bit of it has some speed, coming off the first time gelding. I mean, anyone like this horse?
I thought the horse made some sense, but I would imagine his allowances are a little softer than what he's probably running in today. That's the 5.5 furlong win. The horse is 1 for 7 going this trip. Seems to be the trip they want him to get. He just doesn't tend to get it very well. There's a race. The horse is interesting. I think what they do tactics wise is going to be really interesting in here. I don't know if does Santana go and try to get the lead potentially, or how are they gonna do it? Because I looking at the pace complexion, looks like he's got a bunch of speed inside. So you don't want to be floated, on a speed horse being floated 4 wide around the corner, right, going 5.5 on the turf. So I think how they approach it is interesting. I think sure the horse is interesting, makes some sense, but not a horse that I necessarily love.
I just get the feeling with this race that, like, I look at it and I'm like, Ranger Fox is going to get loose, but I just got this feeling that people are going to send. Maybe it's like the 3 coming out of some of those Gulfstream races, or maybe it's the 4, and maybe it's a horse like Casadero, or even the 6 with Ricardo. But just like I just get the feeling it's going to be a hotter pace than it might look on paper, which is kind of why I'm sticking pretty strongly with Battle Station coming off the pace a little bit.
Yeah, I would imagine. I don't think of a Rad as a Sendy jock, so I would imagine the 3 kind of sits a pocket trip. But I would definitely think that Ranger Fox is going to go. The 4 definitely has a lot of foot. The 6 has got quite a bit of speed. It very much on paper. Again, this is Naira, but it on paper does look like there's quite a bit of speed, and you might end up having a pretty contentious pace.
I just realized that I wasn't sharing the PPs. I thought I was doing a real good job scrolling that whole time, but I
It's
forgot
COVID
that.
brain, man. COVID
Man,
brain.
dude, I'm just like all over the place this morning. I don't think it's just COVID brain. I think it's also just the fact that it's like, I don't know, 4 a.m. basically for me. So, but let me see. Someone actually asked.
Yeah, we're up to 13 in the Discord tournament. Not bad at all. I will take that.
Is it winner take all, or is it pool?
It's pool, but I think you need. I don't know how many you need before it pays second place.
I think it's 5. I remember.
Is it 5? Okay. Let me see what it looks like.
6.
Is it 6?
Yeah, 6 pays 70-30, and then 11 pays 70-20-10. So we're probably
Okay, so it should pay. Yep, it plays $395 for first, $113 for second, 60 or 56 for third. So
how much is that in Canadian?
That's a lot in Canadian.
It's all the loonies, a lot of loonies.
So race 8. Any changes here? You guys like? I mean, are we all against Jack Christopher, or are you using Mark?
No. I'm Jack Christopher would be a lone A. If I play anything through this sequence, again, I'm not gonna. Oh God. But I'm using the favorite as an A. I mean, that's no. I'll have a couple of B's underneath, but I think Jack Christopher is your most likely winner here. I know Caleb's argument is going to be with Jack Christopher that kind of has he just kind of faced softer company. And is he really been tested, right? Really gotten that class test. But I kind of wonder if he drifts maybe a little bit given that Haskell performance. People are going to wonder, did it take a lot out of him, or is he not the horse that they thought he was, or all that kind of stuff. So I think if you get 6-5 or 7-5 on Jack Christopher, you're getting a pretty good price. I'll let Caleb talk some of the prices because I would imagine we're on the same couple of other horses.
I did think it was interesting that Chad Brown is 0 for 7 going from a sprint to a route back to a sprint.
So you're saying he's due?
I don't know. I just thought that was interesting, but I don't think that I part of that, honestly, I think is that he doesn't really I think fall prey to like owners' whims as much as some other trainers might. Part of that I think is just because he's got his trainers, right, like, or his owners rather, and they trust him completely, so he doesn't do weird stuff like stretching a sprinter out very often, which I think is exactly what happened last time. They tried to stretch him out for the Haskell.
I would agree. He tends to find the right distance for a horse pretty quickly in its career. He's not the kind of trainer that you see chasing distances or chasing levels. He sort of has it pretty dialed in. And not to cut you off, Josh, they are going to the post, so I didn't know if you had any last thoughts on the first.
We can jump into the first and then come back to the.
Yeah, no, I'm pressed to the 3, and then I got a little bit of the 7. So
yeah, it looks like your 3 here verifying is going to be your 4-5 favorite, which is kind of how I saw it.
6 is so dead on the board.
6 is so dead on the board. I mean, the 4, the 6, and the 7 are all sitting at 5-1, which is I'm kind of shocked at actually. It'll be interesting to see how this 6 runs. I don't know why Aragona had that horse so hyped. If he knows something we don't, which is probably the case. But if you're playing this pick 5, good luck.
Yeah, I had to check the Twitter because usually he'll post something when he misses a line like that, and he's kind of standing by his guns, maybe interjecting a little bit of his own handicapping into the lines there. But he says he thinks the 6 is working really well and is ready to win going 6 furlongs. So he the way he watches the works, he likes the 6 better. And he also likes the 7. He thinks this race is being misbet. So we'll see if he's
Wow.
right.
I agree.
Oh,
I think this race is being misbet, but mainly on this 3 being 3 to 4.
I think it's being misbet, but I think it's being bet as expected. Maybe is like a better way.
Yeah,
to
exactly, right? Like it's being bet exactly how we thought it was, and that's wrong.
Did did you guys see that that thread on Reddit about someone like calling out his lines?
Aragona's
Yes.
lines?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
it was hilarious.
someone's like, he was so wrong this week, and it's just like, dude, like settle down, like.
It's a tough
A
job.
couple people
and
have done
he's-
the math, and there was some sort of what the average winning line was compared to Aragona, and he is by far and away the best in the country. It's not even close between
Oh
him
yeah,
and
like the
and
variance
second
of
best.
like off odds versus morning line. I mean, he's by far the best. And when you account for scratches, I mean, it's a tough gig.
The 3, wow, the 3
This
just
2 looks
threw a
like
boat
he's got
anchor.
some
This 2
run.
looks like he's got some run. I would take all of that. Oh, now the 3 is going to rally.
Yeah.
What was that 3 just?
Yeah, put him in the wall.
Yeah,
Put him
do
in the
that, yeah.
wall.
Come on, 2. Let's hit 3's under a hand ride. He's
Yeah,
awful
come on,
confident
2.
here. Come on, 2.
Well, the
Gold rail, maybe?
horse stopped around the corner and then
Can I get a gold rail?
No, you
No.
can't.
Oh, he asked, and
No,
there
would have loved to
goes.
have the 2 there, but I got the press ticket.
I would like to watch the replay. I would. Well, it's
A
not
couple good
relevant.
bombs,
Dude.
but they're not going to take down a 4 to
Dude,
5
Joel's
iron.
out there throwing elbows, man. What in the world is going on, dude? It's like a road rash or whatever. He's got the Billy Club.
Yeah. 6 ran kind of the way the board had it. And not only were the works kind of average, but Aspenson goes to Gaffleone. I mean, I hardly think that's a super live one when that's the jockey he reaches for there.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing that's exactly the thing I saw. He's going to go to Joel if the horse is really live. He and Joel are like 45% on the meter, something stupid. So the fact that he didn't get Joel up on, a live firster, you just assume it's not live. And the horse ran a fine 4th, but. And once again, I think we said this is, when we first started, the Dwayne Lucas barn is very live. That 2 ran very, very well. So for
All I
Louis,
know is if this was Charlestown, this 3 would come down.
it would have already been DQ'd.
Yeah.
No, he'd be taking the winner circle photo, and then they would throw up the objection sign.
Freaking.
Well, I think from a tournament perspective, I use the 2 there. I might get more on the place than the win on the place on the 3. We'll see.
I think you will. Or it'll be close at least.
I use the 3 and everything.
They're saying $5.40 on the 2 to place. So no, that'll be about $1 less.
Did you use the 2 as your tournament play? Very nice. I like that a lot.
I don't remember what I used in the cheese.
I'm sitting here watching Discord chat, and everybody's calling for the DQ. There's Better's objection. That's
Better's
go
objection, yeah, the same thing in all these other Discords, but yeah, it looks like everyone's got the feed on. They've decided they've had enough of us, so I think that it'll be time for us to wrap up. So thank you guys for still here for joining us. We'll keep doing this every Saturday up through Breeders' Cup. Actually, we probably won't because Caleb will actually be at Breeders' Cup. So, I don't know if Mark, if you stay home, maybe we can drum up a guest or something and do something. But we'll figure that out as we go. But thank you guys for coming, hanging out, and we'll catch you guys later. Check us out at ontherwronglead.com. Obviously, Twitter at @wrong_lead. Our Twitter handles are here under our name. We'll catch you guys next Thursday on our live stream.